coming at you on demand from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass hockey podcast in all the known land. This is A Shot from the Point with your host, Tommy C. and Get On Dave. Hey Dave, I think we got finished off.
I like what you did there, but yes.
The Finns finished us off. How you?
And not in a good way, hey, let's explore this a little farther. No, it was not in that way. It was man.
No.
2 goals in, 3 minutes? It was just a bad way to lose.
It was tough. By the way, the Americans go down 3-2 with, 8 seconds left? 8 seconds left.
Yeah.
By a hard-working Finnish team. Congratulations to Finland for moving on to the World Champions, the quarterfinals. Excellent game. The Americans played really well. They just got caught low, and they got caught in their own zone late in the game. The Finns were able to put it away. I think what happened the Americans have a 5-0 victory just a few days ago over Finland. Didn't take them too seriously. But the Americans forgot, they're playing in Finland. The world champions in Finland, Sweden this year. This team is not going to lay down in front of their home crowd. And
into it too.
There's a lot of NHL talent on that Finnish team. They got Koivu and there's Jokinen and Timonen, and these guys are for real. And I think it is an upset in the sense where the Americans may have had more firepower and predicted to win. But it's not an upset in the sense where Finland's it's not. This wasn't Italy, This was this is Finland, and I think the Americans may have forgot that for a short period of time because they got finished off.
So, what I take away from it is just it was a good game. They had a good run.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, they've converted a new fan to international hockey. I really enjoy the style of play. I mean, the hitting was good. It was solid in this game, at least. It's just such an open, fast game. It's exciting to watch.
Well, I often wonder. There's two feelings among NHL fans about the international game. The rules are slightly different. The icing rules different. My issue
almost came back to haunt Finland there at the end if you watched the last 2 seconds of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because the automatic icing. Yeah, could have been. There's no way they were losing that game.
No,
not after 8 seconds.
Amazing.
That would have been
amazing.
I think I would have jumped through my apartment window if that would have happened. But no, I think my problem with the international hockey is I like the change of pace from time to time. I like to see the international game, but international hockey is it's sort of like soccer in a sense where it's a little bit Euroized. They make calls, as we're going to talk about Canada versus Slovakia in a few minutes, that are questionable. Any knee-on-knee contact, as we're going to talk about in the Canada and Slovakia game, is going to be considered a 5-minute major. Any boarding call, no matter whether it's, you get a situation like Phoenix and LA the other night with Doan.
Yeah.
The guy turned his head last minute. There was no supplementary discipline. It's automatically going to be a 5-minute major. It's automatically a game ejection. It's just it seems like the European referees. There's a penalty if you get hurt, not if a penalty actually takes place. And that's really my biggest problem with international hockey. I do like the change. I'm glad the NHL is not like international hockey, but I do like the change. I do enjoy it. The skill level. When you get past the Norways and the Italy's and the Kazakhstans of the world, who they have a lot of heart, but there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 real hockey countries. Once you get back this and you get this sort of like you saw today with the quarterfinals, this playoff environment, you see that you see the high level hockey, and it's great. And you watched the 2010 Olympics, because your boys were pretty much running that team.
Yeah, they were. That was exciting for me. That was when I first started getting into it too. So that was great to see Kane out there and Sharp and
all
some of these other guys that are just amazing hockey players leading USA was just awesome.
Well, I
wish they would have been on this team.
It's too bad. I think this was more of a disappointment than last season. They played Canada and lost because I think they were expected to win this tournament. They had a real strong start. They looked real. They had a lot of top quality NHL players on the team. They've got a good young squad as far as guys that are moving into the NHL. Russia, Canada, and the United States, they're predicted to win, and that's why this is such a huge win for Finland. I mean, geez, how would you like to be in Helsinki right now? We're talking about
Party Central.
Big time, and that's their game over there. So I'm real happy for the Finns. I thought my little thing finish us off would be the other way around, but it was a little disappointing. But congratulations to them. They outworked the Americans. And if the Americans got to take anything away from this, just because you have more firepower, just because you have more talent, these teams are going to play with a national pride that maybe you're not accustomed to because hockey's not as big as in the United States. So just keep that in mind. Next year's World Championship and the year after's Olympics. That just because you're more talented than the team, you got to beat them right into the last second and not let up in the last 8 seconds. So hopefully, lesson learned to Mr. Jack Johnson. Also, big shout out to Howard. I mean, he really played well throughout the entire tournament. He's top quality goaltender, and hopefully things will get better for Team USA. I have to move on to this. This would be an upset of the tournament so far. The quarterfinals with Slovakia and Canada. Slovakia pumps 2 goals right away against the Canadians. Look like they're controlling early on. The Canadians, I guess they woke up and they said, "Hey, wait a minute, we're Canadian." They scored 3 unanswered goals. The third one being in midway through the third, and then there is a knee-on-knee contact. 5-minute major scored. The Slovaks score 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I got to back up a second. The Slovaks were able to actually tie this game up, and then late in the third, there was a 5-minute major called, somewhat questionable for a 5-minute major. That late in the tournament.
A little more than a little questionable.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was knee on knee, and you know how it kind of gets to what I was talking about before. They're gonna call it. You got to be super careful. They're one game eliminations. You have to be aware of this.
Is it right for something like that to essentially decide the fate of a team in a tournament like this? I don't know. That's my problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I don't think so. But the Europeans don't look at sports the way North Americans do.
Yeah.
And it's a cultural thing. And I'm doing my absolute best not to be an asshole here. Because this particular subject, especially when it comes to international soccer, is my biggest beef.
Yeah.
But no, it shouldn't. I mean, unless there's some kind of any knee-on-knee contact results in an automatic 5-minute major, which I don't know the international hockey rules, but I bet that's not the rule. And if it is, it needs to go. Because
aside from that, I mean, like with any rule, it's always open for interpretation by the guys on the ice. There's got to be a point where you got to let some of these guys play, and when it's a crunch time, I'm not saying let things go and let people get hurt and all that. That's not what I mean. I'm saying when it's crunch time, you cannot allow all that great hockey, and we've already had so much good goal scoring in the game.
Sure.
You can't let something that could be construed as incidental contact just decide and eliminate a great team like Canada.
You sound like a North American. And I think if I had to play, Hansel Seidenberg right now, I would say, "But they got hurt. You can't hurt people." I mean,
and then I come back with, "I'll punch you in the face."
Yeah, something like that. You are a fat, stupid American. Of course, you would punch me in the face.
Hey, you're half right. I'm fat, but I'm not stupid.
Yeah, but you don't even know the rules.
That's true. I don't. I'm fat and ignorant. There we go.
Yes. But I think it's not just it's a cultural thing. I mean, you've seen it just it's just accepted in soccer now that you're gonna roll on the ground like a coward. You're gonna try to draw a penalty.
Soccer players are a bunch of floppers anyway.
Well, in the international game, but take a look at the English Premier League. There's a lot less of that. It's a complete speed game. It's a tough game. Get that into the FIFA realm, which is the games that the most non-soccer players or soccer fans see, especially in North America, and they see a bunch of candy asses. And who are you going to pick? You're gonna watch the NFL. You're gonna watch the NHL. You're gonna watch kind of like real dudes, or you're gonna watch Fabio roll around on the ground. And I know the Europeans just hate to hear that, but it's disgusting and it's unsportsmanlike. You know, and
then like when things do become extreme, and you got like a Zinedine Zidane situation where he just headbutts a guy. Those are the images that stick with us, and we see that we're like, what the hell's the matter with
Well, what's going on with him?
He said soccer's not taken seriously.
He said something about that guy's sister, man. He lost his mind.
Yeah, why do you headbutt somebody?
Because Zidane, that's a cultural thing too.
It was great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And, you know, hats off, and I don't remember the Italian players, for getting under Zidane's skin to allow Zidane to give away the whole World Cup.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But, I mean, and I think that's another cultural thing. Getting under somebody's skin to the point. I mean, we see guys like that in the NHL, like the Sean Averys of the world and the Tutus. But it just seems to go to another level in Europe. There seems to be no personal pride. And I think that affects the... it's not like they're willfully doing something wrong. It's just they see the game different. And I don't know. I'd like to check the rules. If the rule is all knee-on-knee contact, incidental or non-incidental, is punished by a 5-minute major, then the ref follow the rules. If it's anything less than that, yes, they gave the game to Slovakia. You're absolutely right. Like I said, we're talking about the Canadian-Slovakian World Championship quarterfinal. They win 4-3 late in the third with a 5-minute major, questionable 5-minute major, just to let you know what we were talking about. And we're also talking a little bit about, views on sports culture from North America to Europe, and it's dramatic.
And I think I know why there's the disparity between, I hate to use this term, but us and them. Mm-hmm. And I think in a lot of European culture for sports, outside of international league games in soccer and such, and England, of course, sports are just that. They're a game. Mm-hmm. You know, in America, it's a lot more serious than that.
You think so?
I'm a Bear fan. You put too many Packer fans in front of me, I'm either going to get my ass kicked or I'm going to stab somebody. It's just the reality of how we are, our culture. Now, that could
perhaps you have not heard of a soccer firm over here in Europe.
I know.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I think exactly the opposite. I think they take it too seriously. I'm just talking about the way they view penalties. You know, it's just completely different.
Well, no, I'm talking more of outside, like the regular premier clubs and stuff outside of like the stadium games. Sure. It's not as, I mean, you're not going to see as many violent outbreaks and stuff as you see in the States.
No.
It's just, we take sports a lot more seriously, and we take more sports seriously than I think that other countries do.
I think we actually take the sport seriously. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's tough for me to agree with you on that because, I mean, there's been so many violent incidents in Europe but it's just completely ununderstandable. That's not a word. It's not understandable to me that why, you know, just because your team's playing theirs, I got to burn down the stadium and wave a flag at Che Guevara. I mean, I don't know what that has to do.
Here's the difference, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that happens in Europe, I think, happens because of everybody in the stadium is drunk. I could be drunk or sober. I'll still stab a Packer fan.
Okay. You know? I don't know. I never will. I don't get sports going to that level. I don't understand. I know you're joking around, but I gotta be honest with you.
Don't put a Packer fan and a knife too close to me.
I'm sure. I want to do 20 years because I don't like Brett Favre. You know. You know, Brett Favre and the Packers could care less if you don't like them.
Oh, he cares. I know he cares.
He cares. You know he cares. All right. Moving on. Last game in international soccer was Russia. It was a foregone conclusion. Russia takes off Norway 5-2. Ovechkin was there. He popped one.
Was he?
Yes, he was. He flew in the other day, and he was there to play for his home country, showing you the kind of guy he is.
That's pretty stand up right there. I
like Ovechkin. I know he acts a little douchey from time to time, but I mean,
I like him. I like a little bit of a douche in him.
He's having fun, and you know we talked about Dale Hunter before. He's a soldier. He's going to do what he's told because he's a hockey player, and he listens to the coach. He's not bigger than the game, or at least he doesn't behave that way in public. If he does, I don't know anything about it. But I think that's the kind. He's country, family. team. That's the kind of guy he is. Those are the kind of guys I'm going to root for. If he wants to have fun, act a little douchey, that's on him, He makes me laugh. I think he's funny, actually.
And pretty much every time he smiles, he has that big toothy, I'm a hockey player grin.
He loves that missing tooth. He loves that silly missing tooth. That's like the greatest thing. He lost that in the NHL too. He didn't lose that when he was a kid.
Really?
It's like he's like.
It's like he doesn't have the money to get a new tooth in there.
He thinks it's cool, and when you're probably one of the most sought after bachelors in the Washington, in the Beltway, really, Washington D.C. area, you could probably spare a tooth.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the biggest difference between him and Crosby. If Crosby were to chip anything in his mouth, he'd be in the dentist emergency room the next day.
Sure. Yes, and we'd all and half of Canada would be on their knees praying for him.
That tooth would become a holy sacrament or something. It'd be crazy.
Sure. I tell you something. Flipping back to Crosby, nothing. I'm really happy what the Rangers have done so far. I'm very happy. I'm proud. I want to talk about Kreider a little bit, but nothing made me happier than Claude Giroux having a hold of his jersey, staring him down, and then you could just see it on the television. I'm not going to fight you. 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 What a bunch of girls over there in Pittsburgh. I
agree with that. I'm glad that it doesn't look like Crosby's ever going to leave that town either, because honestly, I'd be singing a different tune if he were a Blackhawk, but I don't know how happy I'd be about it in the long run.
I don't want him. I'll stick with my tough Ranger team. This only so far I go. I'll take Ovechkin.
Real quick.
Sure.
What did you make of of your boy Martin Brodeur, his shooting pucks at your guys' faces comment?
Let's get into that in a bit. Let me finish off with Russia, and we'll get into the Rangers now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me finish off with Russia. I'm just gonna but I didn't know that, so maybe you're gonna have to tell me. This would be the second offhand comment he's made in the last 2 days, if that's the case.
You're gonna love this.
Okay, great. Well, like I said, Russia, they nailed down Norway 5-2. Norway, the way it works is like this. I mentioned this on the video log. You have the United States, Russia, and Canada, top 3 countries. Then you have Sweden and Finland. They're about even. And then you have Slovakia and the Czech Republic. Those are the top the top hockey countries. There's a hole right below that Germany usually sneaks into. This year it was done by Norway. Norway has no business in the same rink as the Russians. But from Norway hockey standpoint, this builds their program. The fact that they were even able to get in the quarterfinals. And in recent years, they've been a little more annoying to other teams. So, I know it was probably a tough loss for the Norwegians today, but congratulations for building your team. You got a nice cold weather country. It's probably cheaper to skate over there. So, good luck to you. But the Russians are moving on. And they are the only team undefeated in the tournament left. Moving on to the New York Rangers. Rangers dropped down 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was 3-2 they lost, correct?
Yeah.
Last game, sorry. Rangers dropped down 3-2. The Devils the Devils offense was able to get scored. They did it through deflections and penetrating good old Big Blues defense. They found a way. That's pretty scary for the Rangers, but that's not what I find the most scary for the New York Rangers. Is they just simply looked tired. And there's a scene where Tortorella is screaming bloody murder about skate, skate, skate. Well, these guys have already played 16 games of hockey. If they haven't missed a game,
scream down. I actually like the fact that he was still in their faces about it.
Look, maybe that's what he had to do. But when does science take hold here? How many games can you play at a top level like this? This was the problem with going Game 7 with Ottawa. This is the problem with going Game 7 with the Capitals. Now you're tired. And you might even be better than this Devil team. They completely shut them down in the first game. They never gave up in this game. They were always in it. There was times that I thought they'd pull it out, but they simply looked tired, and that's.
I don't think it's all woe is me though. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think for being as tired as they were in this as they were. Excuse me. They were still in this game.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, they were.
You should be very enthused by it.
I am. Every game I get more and more impressed by the Rangers' heart. But I mean, there's just you can't keep doing this. You can't.
True champions overcome, my friend.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure, but Stanley Cup champions blow out their first round opponents. Yeah. So I mean, look. It would be really difficult to swallow. The Rangers are a very, very young team. Very young team. God, there's not too many guys over 25 on that team. If they lost to the Devils, as hard as it would to take, because I'm more of a Devil hater than I am an Islander hater, and it depends on if you're a New Jersey Ranger fan, you hate the Devils. If you're a New York Ranger fan, you hate the Islanders. Yeah, it just seems to kind of work that way. It would be really, really tough, but I'm actually overall satisfied with their performance. They're just gonna, have to think about bringing a scorer like a Nash, or get this, Parise is on the trading block next year, and there's a lot of rumors that he might actually make the trip over the Hudson to New York, which would not be a terrible fit for the New York Rangers, having Parise up front. So that being said, no, I'm happy with the Rangers. I don't think it's the end of the world. I predicted on my video blog that they'd more than likely lose this game. I predicted that this would be a 7-game series. I still think that'll be the case. But what do you do when LA, it's just like, there's no hope for me, because LA's going to polish these guys off, probably win game 3 tonight in Los Angeles, and where are the Rangers at? Playing another game 7, I mean, where do we go after this, even if we can get back this really difficult opponent? Go ahead.
Here's your best case scenario. Here's what you can hope for.
Mm-hmm.
That exactly what you said happens. The Rangers find a way to pull it out in 7. And the Kings just blast, which I'm fully thinking they're going to do. This game's going to go 4, or the series is going to go 4, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
They sit at home, a little bit of rust builds up, and the same thing happens in game 1 with Quick.
Sure.
In this series, happens again. He's not exactly all there, and the Rangers steal one, and then they get their confidence, and they in a 6-game series, they might have a shot.
Yeah, but that sounds almost like the Hollywood story, and that would be great. I'm all for that.
I think that's pretty much your only.
I tend to agree with you, and that's why I guess I feel you almost kind of made me feel worse.
That was not my intention.
I know it wasn't your intention. You made me feel worse, because I think that's really the barrel that we're staring down. I think the Rangers are probably a better team than the Devils objectively, but. A better team, well, definitely a better defense, but I think early in this
factor does play.
Well, and early in the season, I don't think this is, but it's the playoffs. We're deep in the playoffs now. The Devils found a way to penetrate. They're going to create traffic and punch in deflections. I don't think any of those goals were Lundqvist's fault. I don't think they're even the defense's fault. They just found a way to get around it. If they can solve that, on top of being tired, where do we go from here? And I think the question, I think they could win it. I expect them to split the series in New Jersey. I totally expect them. They have to.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I expect them to split the series in New Jersey. But if this goes down, I mean, I don't know. How much longer can we do it? I mean,
it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a 1-1-1-1-1-1 type of series.
Just like the last one.
No one's going to win 2 games in a row,
Sure.
It seems.
Maybe the only thing that puts them over the top is the same thing that put them over the top in the last series, which is home ice advantage. They're really walking a tightrope by playing this type of hockey, and it's probably because, and I'm going to tickle, they don't have a lot of offensive. They don't have firepower. That's the problem. There's a lot of teams that are Ottawa had more firepower than they did, and that seems to be the issue. They can't, overwhelm you with quality scoring chances and quality shots on goal. The goals they score are very simple: screen with a shot in front, and they're very, very good at that. But I mean, they don't have anybody like a Kane or an Ovechkin to just kind of take over and score an unbelievable goal when they need it.
It seems like it's increasingly becoming apparent that that's what you do. You do need someone who, at a certain time in the game, will say, "Hey guys, get on my back.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take you for about 5 minutes on the stretch here, and let's go do this."
Sure. But I see talent somewhere. His name is Mr. Kreider. Kreider seems to have this ability. He's just too friggin' young. He just got out of college. He seems to be scoring those key goals. I mean, we may have a rookie here. But here's what I don't get. When he makes a mistake, he's punished like he's a 7-year veteran, and they put him on the 4th line. You know what? Punish him some other time. This is the playoffs. We need him. You knew by sticking this kid in this situation that he was going to make rookie mistakes. When he makes rookie mistakes, Tortorella acts like it's the end of the world, and he punishes him. Like, I mean, Jesus, he's probably just happy he's standing in uniform. And I don't know if or Tortorella knows what he has here. I don't know if I'm even comfortable with him with a rookie like that. You know, it's just bizarre. It's bizarre behavior. And
it's a little strange.
I don't know. I like Kreider. I like this kid. And my girlfriend mentioned that's a German last name. Very proud of.
Just a little bit German.
Yeah. Where is he? I gotta look him up. Where's he from? Chris K-R. I can't spell it. Maybe that. Oh, he just popped up. Chris Kreider, born 1991 of the New York Rangers in, I bet, Pennsylvania. No, Massachusetts. 21 years old. April 30th, 1990. I think it's the same birthday as Adolf Hitler. April 30th, 1990.
He was born in the 90s?
Yes, we're old, man.
Jesus.
Yeah. 91, actually. After the first Gulf War.
That's so crazy.
Oh, he's born. Let's see. I thought April 30th was Hitler's birthday. It's actually his death. So I just checked that out just for funny. I saw April 30th. That rang a bell. And not that I was trying to make some German comparison. I certainly wasn't.
You wouldn't be doing anything that.
No. I'm oh boy, 6'3", 230 pounds, man. I tell you, the 230. The guy, I mean, these guys are looking average at 230 now. I mean, I remember the Philadelphia Flyers, the first really big team I saw, like 93 Flyers, and then on really all the way to 90, the late 90s. The Flyers are always big team. But I mean, these guys weighing over averaging over 210 is just unbelievable. Now they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Actually, and Kreider in 2010 got a gold medal in the World Junior Championship, so he knows how to win. Rangers got something here, and I hope they're able to take advantage of it. I want to talk about the Devils a little bit, though, too. What do you think of Brodeur?
Yeah, I would have thought you would have been all over this one. Doing an interview, they were asking him about all the shot blocking that was going on in Game 2, or Game 1, excuse me. And he said, this is, and I quote, they're hot at blocking shots.
Sure.
We might be able to hurt a few guys hitting one-timers in their foot or their head or something.
Did he mean that? I mean, quite literally, he's correct. But did he mean we want to learn it, or maybe he's frustrated with the shot blocking? That's a bizarre comment.
You gotta take it as, you gotta remember, this is Brodeur. This is what he does. He's a soundbite guy. He says shit like this all the time.
Yeah, I know. I guess so.
But do you want to give bulletin board material to your opponent? I'm a firm believer in you don't give bulletin board material to an opponent. But more importantly, you say something like that can be construed, especially in the way our media is nowadays.
Sure.
That you want someone to get hurt. And now talking about taking a puck to the head in this concussion-crazy world we live in nowadays, just not a smart thing to say by old Brodeur. Maybe he's starting to show his age here.
Sure.
Starting to...
Or Fato's starting to show his jealousy because he sees, that's the thing. 1994, he's standing across the ice from Mike Richter, one of the top goalies in the league. And definitely the top goalie in the what is then called the Patrick Division. Now it's called the Atlantic. And, a lot of people saying, Richter's done and we got a new guy moving in. Maybe it's a little difficult to be the other side of the ice now, Fatso, because you have a guy that's 10 years younger than you, and he's got a future, and your future's over. So maybe this is the second kind of weird comment Brodeur's made in the last 2 days. I gave him the benefit of the doubt the other day. But this is the kind of guy he is, and it's showing more with age. It's probably very difficult for Brodeur to get over the fact that it's over, that it's coming to an end. And you figured you'd be happy because most guys end up getting told, well, maybe you should take a trip in the minors. We'll bring you back up, and they never do. He's getting his ass kicked the whole way. Avery was right about him. He's a whiner. He's a crier. It's just the way Marty is. Marty is the greatest goaltender to ever put on pads. Marty probably made the save of the playoffs with that thing with lifting his skate. I don't even know what the hell he did. I mean, he actually
was
was upended and made the save. And I tell you something, he meant to make that save because he pushed his leg to knock it. There's no doubt. But
the guy's very deliberate in everything he does.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a dumb guy either.
No, absolutely not.
He's a smart guy. He knows what he's saying.
Sure. That's why he married his wife's sister,
Smart and rational.
I think that I read that years ago that he actually left his wife. I don't know. I'm not getting too into that, but whatever. But he
don't get us sued. We're really young here. Don't get us sued.
Yeah, whatever. I think he's a public figure. I can say what I want. Yeah, so I'm covered in there. But Marty's always been that way to me. I ran into Marty once, and no, I'm not going to tell the story.
Are you going to tell the story?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to tell that story. But I wasn't impressed. That's all. I wasn't impressed.
Fair enough.
I wasn't terribly impressed. But it was. I tell you something. It was an uncomfortable situation. And it was a very long time ago. And you know what? I always give these guys the benefit of the doubt with the autograph thing because you don't know what you don't know what they went through yet. I don't think they have the obligation to sign absolutely everybody's autograph. They have to get where they're going, just like you and me do. So I'm not going to judge. But I just he came off like a guy from Montreal. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
So I met Stefan Matteau. Scored the biggest goal against Bordeaux, and I'm sure he just dreams about it to this day. Wasn't impressed either. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was a cultural thing. Maybe it was a French Canadian thing.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, Marty. I guess Marty's got to look down at Lundqvist. Marty's got to make comments. He's to be a wise guy. I got news for you, Marty. That's not Ilya Byskralov on the other end of the ice. I mean, this is a completely different team. People are starting to talk that the Devils didn't really play anybody the last round or two. They had trouble with the Cats. They had they dealt with an extremely weak goaltender and a team that couldn't get their shit together in Philadelphia. And now the first game you get dominated. The second game, admittedly, you win by 1 goal. And the Rangers were never out of it. So maybe do you want to go out as a 40-year-old greatest goaltender as just a little jealous prick? Is that what you want to do? That's fine with me, Marty. That's fine with me. I'm done with Marty. Don't get me on Marty. I've had enough Marty for one day.
Let's move this hate bus towards tonight's game. That's the future.
I hate that every time I see Brendan Shanahan, he's talking about a coyote.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired of friggin' Coyotes, man. Minus the Shane Doan hit, because he did turn last minute. I mean, this is one filthy, dirty hockey team. They are a dirty, dirty team.
I don't know. I don't agree with the non-suspension. I think something had.
He turned.
It looked like there was intent to me. I don't know what Shanahan's doing.
But he turned. It doesn't matter if there was intent to hit, but he turned too quickly. So I mean, I think since. But the other hit, there's another hit the Brown hit is what.
The Brown hit, yeah, that was what the hell was that about?
The Brown hit got a suspension.
Oh, okay.
The Brown hit got the suspension. It was the Kreider. Was it the Kreider? Kreider hit didn't get the suspension. I'm looking for it right now. That's what I think I sent that to you. Because I thought you were talking with Shane Doan didn't get suspended. And he shouldn't have gotten suspended. I saw the hit. The guy turned at the last minute. It's, and what are you going to do? But that being said, and I'm not just talking...
it's very possible that he could have been... What if he would have broke his neck on that play? Do they still say nothing? If he gets taken out off the ice on a stretcher like Hossa, do they still do nothing? I mean... You have to think about
there was absolute intent with the Hossa. The Hossa thing was
He got
clear.
a 5-minute major for the hit.
Yeah.
It's not like Rafi Torres. He did not even get a penalty on the Hossa.
Well, I understand that, but the difference between the two hits is it was quick. It was a real quick thing, and they called it real. But if you look at it slowly, and I think if the ref had the opportunity to see it in slow motion, which he doesn't have to do, he probably wouldn't have made a penalty at all. I don't even think it was a penalty. I think it's one of those things where it just happens so fast, and the ref kind of feels forced to make a call. But under review, it's not a penalty. So I mean, the rules are very clear. Shanahan stated him. He's actually gotten. I think he was just so overwhelmed in the first round that he's finally gotten the shit together.
Yeah.
But the Brown hit I thought I had, this is how organized I am. I swear I had the video for the Brown hit, and I don't. And I set all this crap up, and I don't have the Brown hit. You know what?
That's okay. Don't beat yourself up too much.
I'm beating myself up as we speak. I'm beating myself. Hey, did you see the difficulty with what do you call it? The Madison Square Garden, the most cherished arena in the world. They can't open the penalty box door.
That was good. That's good comedy, right there.
I know. It was an old check. He goes, God, I hope New Jersey takes a penalty. Or I hope New York takes a penalty. I gotta be honest with you, so did I. Okay, Martin Hanzal suspended 1 game. Hanzel's a Czech with a German name. And he took Brown out a little too hard. On
You want to talk about a hockey player? Brown's a freaking hockey player.
I read
he took 3.
Oh yeah.
He took 3 nasty hits in that game and still skated around and still played his style. That's a hockey player right there.
I'm glad you brought up Dustin Brown. I read an article in Sports Illustrated about Dustin Brown yesterday. Did you know, he was brought up, I guess, when he was like 19 years old. He's from Ithaca, New York, and he married like his high school sweetheart, or they were dating at the time. And he was on a line with Mr. Sean Avery, generally voted the most hated player in the NHL. And Brown has a pretty big lisp, and apparently, he was acting like a 19-year-old with all these like 20, 30-year-old guys when he got there. Avery used to pick on him brutally. Not so much because of his lisp. That was, I guess, the rest of the LA locker room. It was because his girlfriend was just a little too not fabulous for Mr. Sean Avery's. Hockey players should date models like Sean Avery does. And apparently it really hurt him. He said he didn't feel that way at the time. He thought he was just getting his balls busted. But when they got rid of Avery, he's really blossomed, and now he's the youngest captain in the NHL, staring down the barrel of something Sean Avery could never do and win a Stanley Cup. I mean, what a story there. They tried to make it this modern, like, bully story, but I bought it because when they asked Brown about it, he was like, yeah, I guess it was bothering me because when they got rid of him, I did a lot better, so...
Well, it's not this story that's going to convince people that Avery was a dick.
Yeah.
I think it's already coming out. This guy was an asshole.
Oh, you're not kidding. The thing is, I like Sean Avery for comedy, but I wouldn't be his friend,
No, you'd never be his friend.
But he's a funny guy, and every time he's on television...
That guy would bang your mother.
Yeah, I know.
He's the type of guy.
Yeah, without thinking about it. And steal her watch.
I wouldn't leave him alone with my mom. I'm just saying.
I mean, he does, but I gotta be honest with you, when he's on television, I'm just I'm mesmerized because the stuff that comes out of his mouth is, and he's extremely honest guy. I mean, but he's a mean prick, and he's the weirdest mean prick, because usually I think a mean prick, I think of Dale Hunter when he was playing. He's like this metrosexual prick, I mean, there's really never been anything like Sean Avery.
Fabulous angry.
Yeah. Well, Tortorella fixed his ass. He sent him down to the minors this year, which he probably didn't deserve. But, I mean, that's what happens when you're... I think Avery's only like 32 or 30. I don't think he's even as old as me. Wow. And his career should be far from over.
Seems like he's been around for a long time.
He's 31. He's got a good 3 years left. Just turned 32, April 10th, 1980. 32 years old. He's got 2
Maybe it's just because he's been such a perpetrator in the art of douchebaggery. Yeah. It feels like he's been around for so long.
Yeah, he's really... Well, he really came of age. I mean, everybody knew he was a prick when he was in L.A., but, I mean, he really came of age when he went to New York. Look, Avery's Avery. I think if he really gives a crap about his NHL career, which I never got the feeling that he did, I don't think he loves hockey like he loves being a celebrity. So whatever, if he decided, he's already joking around about retiring. He probably doesn't have much of a future with the Rangers, especially, I don't think Tortorella wants too many free spirits on the New York Rangers.
He likes his robots.
Yeah, he likes his robots, and they work well. I just wish he could program them to score. That would be that might. But we don't make changes, so I mean that's the way things operate. I think we covered the entire hockey spectrum, Mr. Dave.
Well, we do got tonight to talk about real quick.
Oh, we do have. Oh, we didn't. I'm sorry. We're only 30 minutes. Oh God, we're only 38 minutes in. So I totally apologize to my fan base.
It's why I'm here.
All 10 of my Facebook users.
Get to your gang.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, but talk about because we get to talk about Brown. That got into Avery, which is one of my favorite subjects. But yeah, continue with Brown and continue with LA. I apologize, Dave.
No, it's totally cool. Basically, let's kick it into predictions for tonight. You think?
I'm thinking about not even watching the game.
There might not be much point.
I'm beating the idea. I got the package, so why don't I get some sleep, get ready for drill this weekend, and just leave it on in the background while I'm packing my stuff.
This might be one of those times where you could build a model or something while you're watching this hockey game.
Sure. Maybe I could take up Sudoku.
Something. I think it's kind of obvious where we're going here. I'm going to say another runaway by the Kings. Until they don't, I'm going to keep going with it.
Why not? It's a safe bet. Phoenix has been broken mentally. They don't have. They're not even as good as the Rangers. They have a great goalie. They kind of got a mean defense, and the rest of them are undisciplined and can't score. So 1 + 1 = 2 every time. The Kings will move on. I'll stick with my. I had Kings in 6. I'm not going to change that just in case I do win, but I think seeing what I've seen now, I'll make my secondary prediction. Seeing what I've seen now, I think the Kings will probably win with 5, just because that fourth game is so difficult to win.
I am sticking with my sweep, sir.
And you know what? You very well may be right. I wouldn't be surprised. That means the Rangers are going to have to. Actually, do you realize if you hit the sweep, that you automatically win by mathematically.
Yeah, it's over.
You automatically win. But I just don't.
Do a celebration. It'll be great.
Yeah, I just don't think there's much to talk about. I think this is done. Hey, you know what? Here's what you do, Devil fans, Ranger fans. Watch the Kings and look at what a totally focused, exciting hockey team looks like. That's what you gotta do. Nobody that's got any egos or former Stanley Cups. Just hungry hockey players. That's what you're gonna see in Los Angeles, and they're gonna eat up.
A lot more of it over the future too. This is a young team.
Hungry hockey players drink out of the cup. That's what they do. So I'm all for it. Hey, you got anything else, Dave?
Yeah, actually I do. I got a little bit of a sad, happy trails I want to throw out there to a queen, a legend of disco. We lost Miss Donna Summer.
When did that happen?
Today. She lost her battle with cancer.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, what did she sing?
Last Dance.
How does that go?
I'm not singing it. Don't even try to get me to do that.
Well, was that like in the Saturday Night Fever? I probably know it from there.
No, I need to apologize to my good friend Tommy C here, because I'm sure most of you know who Donna Summer is. Knock on wood. I mean,
I know the
disco
name.
singer.
I know the name. I know she's.
Those of you who are not cretins of the music world.
Well, I swear to God, if you
had silenced the loss of Miss Donna Summer.
If you would have said Donna Summer, I would say disco person, right? And you would have said yes. I would have said that. I would have said disco person, but I wouldn't have known anything beyond that. Just because I was born in the 70s doesn't necessarily make me remember. Yeah, I know, and you remember. We're good. How does the song go? I'm gonna have to look it up.
Well, you've heard "Knock on Wood." You better knock on wood. That's her.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Love to love you, baby. I love to love you, baby. That's Donna Summer.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go YouTube it, man.
Yeah, you know her. You've heard songs by her. Trust me.
Well, I'm sure I have.
And you got me to sing on a podcast.
It was bad. We should have put a track.
It was bad. I know.
We should have put a track on it. Maybe I'll flip on the music now, as our outro. Anything else, Davey?
That'll do it. And unless I'd like to throw out there real quick, hey, anybody out there looking for another podcast after this, head on over, check out my show. This Guy's Take on It. Episode 4 today. It was a doozy. Check it out.
This Guy's Take on It all. Dave is probably one of the most eclectic people I know, besides myself. So definitely check This Guy's Take on It. JohnFreemanMusic.com. JohnFreemanMusic.com. If you start to hear, and Dave, this stuff sounds really good. We're going to get all new music, real professionally done. Rock and roll, little hip hop, little, stuff to keep the juices going. And
sounds good to me. Sounds like a very talented cat.
He's a very talented guy. We're hoping, and we're hoping that as the show grows, we can have our own thing. And that was really nice of John. And I'll be putting a link for his website, johnfreemusic.com. I think we got to plug your book too, man, on Amazon. I got to give a link for that.
The Chronicles of Stevans. It is available through Just Fiction Edition Publishing. It's available on Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. Hear that? He's got an Amazon book.
I have an Amazon book.
Amazon book.
Good times.
Good times.
I'll tell you what, if you buy it and you want a useless signature, just let me know. You send it to me, I'll sign it, send it back, and I'll pay for the postage.
Hell, I'll sign it too.
Oh yeah, then why not?
I'll sign it too. I could have. I'll wake up my girlfriend in the other room. She'll sign it. Why not?
Why not?
No, you never. I haven't read your book. I'll be honest with you.
No, it's going to be coming out on iTunes, iBook, and ebook, so it'll be a lot more affordable, and hopefully a lot more people will get to read it and have some fun with it. I had a lot of fun writing it. I'm going to write the follow-up soon. So.
Don't forget to catch the Czech Republic versus Sweden. It should be starting. Actually, it may even be going on now. Let me see if I can get a score for you. Czech Republic, they're probably the most evenly matched up teams. Yes. Czechs are up 2-1 on Sweden. That means my friend Chris, the angry Swede, will not be able to make fun of me if they lose. Chris, the angry Swede, might be making an appearance on the video cast. So, yeah, very good.
I'm being replaced.
Well, if you're well, you know what? Don't bother watching it, because if you're listening to this, it's probably well over with. So don't bother. But check it out. The World Championships going into the semifinals. Keep an eye out on that. This has been a shot from the point. They're here with Dead on Dave and Tommy C. You have a very good day, each and every one of you. So long.